Hey, book club besties.
From Scrubs to Book Club, we're two burnt-out healthcare workers who love to yap about books. I'm Katie.
I'm Star, and welcome to Aimless Attention Podcast.
Today, we are going to be talking about Flawless by Elsie Silver. So this is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series. Elsie Silver writes interconnected standalones. She has 3 series out. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see I've read all 3 of the series. They are just above Star's head. This was my first cowboy romance I've ever read, actually.
Yeah, I remember when you were telling me. This one's funny.
Yeah, so I was at Target one day. I saw the pretty pink cover, and I was like, maybe I should try cowboy romance. Let's see how this goes.
And then I remember being told that's what I was reading next.
So this book follows Summer and Rhett. Rhett is a professional bull rider in the WBRF. Shout out to my mom. If you're watching the YouTube video, I made her use her professional embroidery machine to make us shirts. So thank you for sticking with it on me, for Mom, and making these awesome shirts for us. So Rhett is a professional bull rider. Summer works at her dad's PR firm, who represents Rhett. And Rhett just had a big oopsie.
Yes.
So Rhett is sponsored by milk. What is he sponsored by? It was like dairy farmers, or
he was sponsored by a lot of different things, but his hatred for milk got him in trouble. But I don't think it was milk directly. I think it was just what he said about milk that killed everybody. That was like, no, we're out. But you could do that with anything. Like what's his name? Tiger Woods did that with something, and like Nike was like, we're out, and it was like, wait, hold on, doesn't even account for anything for you guys. Like, you guys are like, just do it. Like, so I don't know. It was like strange how he gets in trouble for. Yeah, because it was like he was betraying his roots. Like he was. That's right, because he's a farmer, right? And like cows and okay. I was like, I don't really get it. I mean, I got it, but I was like, okay, like. But yeah, that makes sense because I don't like milk either. So I was like, I get you, Rhett. It's okay. Like, it's cool in ice cream, but I don't want to drink it cold. I feel like he did like a Got Milk ad or something. I don't remember. I have to say, usually I read audiobooks and it makes me love the story more. These narrators were not it for me. I have no problem with these narrators. On this book. On this particular narrator. Yeah, I can't remember who reads this one. I don't remember. I think either. I fell in love because I'm pretty sure that like a couple of them are I always want to say Anthony Paul Beebe, and I was like, that's not who I like. Teddy Hamilton. Yes. And so I know he reads a couple of them. Yeah, he is. I think so then I was like, ooh, makes it worse. Yeah. So this audiobook, it's not the narrator's fault because I've heard those narrators in different books, and I actually liked Rhett. I thought he was fine, but I think it should have been dual narration or duet style because when he was trying to do Summer's voice, I was just like, that could be true. Yeah, that bothered me. I didn't have a problem with it. And then the narrator who does Summer's voice, she does the voices for When the Moon Hatched, and she's fantastic in that. I love that narrator in that. The other problem that Katie has though is that she tends to like picture the narrator as the other book. That's not true. She's totally said this like multiple times. Where she like the narrator, like what book was it we were reading recently that you were like, oh, but the narrator in that story makes me keep thinking of such and such story. Like multiple times she's done that. So I think it's just sometimes the voices will be from another iconic series. Yes, and then you'll get like caught up on it though. Like you'll be like annoyed half the time. You'll be like, yeah. So I told you when I go back to re-listen to Crescent City, I have to do the graphic audio. That's right. Because I love Elizabeth Evans, but I only hear Aylin when she talks. So when I hear audio from Crescent City, I'm just like, no. No, that's just funny to me because it's just like I don't have that problem. So the audiobook wasn't bad, but there were, because of the narrators and how they both speak, some of the lines that I thought were hot when I read them on page, I listened to them in the book and I was like, oh. It was all cringy. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, this one wasn't my favorite. This one was definitely, Rhett definitely annoyed me. I think he was just a little like whiny bitch though. You know what the other problem is too? Is like, I think we talked about this in previous episodes where you kind of remind yourself of, or you kind of feel like you're part of the character. Yeah. And I was like, I'm the baby. Is that what my fucking family thinks of me? Like, are they like that little whiny bitch? Like, oh my God. And I don't even think he's the baby, right? Violet's the baby. So yeah. So again, it's all interconnected standalones. So we have 3. Elsie Silver does small towns in Canada that all have connections to each other. So the first series that she released was the Gold Rush Ranch series.
And in the second book, we get introduced to Violet Eaton. And that is her romance book.
Okay, so that's why I didn't know her story.
Yeah, so I hadn't met Violet at all. And so when Rhett's having conversations with Violet in this book, that was my first introduction to her. Because I did Chestnut Springs first.
Okay, so have I.
Yeah, and then I actually did Gold Rush Ranch last. I just finished that series. But this is kind of the cool thing. I love interconnected standalones because I spend a lot of the book going like, ooh, that character's got to be important. Like, like, I bet that person's going to come back. So, yeah, we meet Rhett. He has the whole milk thing goes on, and Summer's dad says, hey, I'm sending Summer to go live with you, and she's going to deal with this PR nightmare you created to keep your sponsors.
The babysitter.
Mm-hmm. The babysitter.
I loved it. The babysitter was my favorite, especially when his family like starts making fun of it.
I love the Eatons.
That was like way too on spot for me. Like I was like, a lot of the guys I know would have been like, yes, you have a babysitter.
So Summer goes to Chestnut Springs, which is again a small town in Canada. And she actually used to ride horses.
Is it a real town or is this
No, these are all made up towns.
Because I'm like, she talked about it and I was like, is this real? Because I don't know enough about Canada to be. I was going to ask you that. And I was like, screw it. We'll just wait for the podcast.
I searched it
and show how smart I am. I should have just Googled it. But I was curious. I was like, is this real? Because it sounds like it could be a legit spot.
Right?
Like, but then again, it sounds like it could have been like any of the country woods I've lived in. So I was like, I don't know. She did a great job. I was very I felt very much like I was there. Like I was like, I know exactly.
So we have Chestnut Springs, which happens in Chestnut Springs. Then we have the Rose Hill series, which is our newest series that released, which happens in Rose Hill. And then Gold Rush Ranch happens in Ruby Creek. I almost forgot it again after I just literally Google searched it. But so it happens in Ruby Creek. That's where we meet the youngest Eaton, Violet. And I actually, because of the reading order I went in, like we'll spoiler alert for all Elsie Silver books. I'm just going to say
just
right
spoiler
now.
alert for every book that you've ever... You're on our podcast. We're going to talk about all the different books.
Just be prepared. We can't keep on topic. But with the way that I read it, because it's kind of the middle series, I got like bookended with like characters I would have known if I was in Gold Rush Ranch. Like in Jasper's book, we meet a ton of the characters from Gold Rush Ranch because they end up in Ruby Creek.
Yeah.
Totally had no idea their significance, but they're literally all of the characters from the first series.
Yeah, I think you told me that after I had finished Jasper's. I think you were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, it's cool as anyways.
Yeah,
like
fits.
They're perfect standalones regardless. Like, I would have never... You don't know that you're missing characters until, like...
I am excited, though, when I go for a reread on these, is to, like, catch the little, like, inside jokes that are from other books.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's kind of fun. But we end up in Chestnut Springs with Rhett and Summer, and we get introduced to Kate Eaton, which is the oldest Eaton brother.
Yes.
We get introduced to Harvey Eaton, who is their father.
He's my favorite character.
He's great. We get introduced to Bo Eaton, who's like the middle child. I
don't know. I haven't read Bo's story yet, but
you haven't read Heartless?
No.
Or not Heartless, Hopeless.
No. It's in my like read list, but I get real like... I don't know. I've been trying to like mix up my books. I'm like, all right, so today's going to be serial killer. Tomorrow's going to be fantasy. And then we're going to do love stories. And then we're going to go back to serial killer. Because the love stories, man, they burn me out.
That's fair.
I'm literally like toast when I finish them. I'm like, how dare they love each other? What's wrong with them? But I told you I don't have a mate. Like, God.
I love romances. But I do have to start splitting them up because I need like a fantasy in the middle of them or something.
I found that I have to have a serial killer after I have. Like, it's too much for me.
Because sometimes
I need the dark black.
Yeah. I think I read Chestnut Springs all the way through all the books, like immediately.
No, I couldn't handle it.
Because I loved it so much.
No, I couldn't handle it.
But yeah. So anyway, so we meet, those are the Eatons proper.
Yes.
Violet, again, is living in Ruby Creek, and she is a horse racer. She's a jockey. We also meet Jasper Gervais, who is a hockey player who is like their childhood best friend.
He's where I ended. I ended on Jasper. But that was because
you read Theo in Winter.
Oh, I did read Theo in Winter.
Yeah, so you're on the last book.
I think you could have done Theo in Winter before Jasper, and it would have made more sense.
Maybe. But you have that scene.
There's like something in the middle that like... The two stories together almost could have been read like
a tandem read?
Yes, because there was things that happened in both that you're like... super like what the
like wait, what's the timeline here?
Yeah, you're trying so hard. You were like, don't piece it together, just read the story. But yeah, no, I was struggling with a few different things on those two.
Yeah, so those are kind of and then we meet Theo, who is Rhett's apprentice. So that kind of
yes, which is where you get the Theo and Winter, because Winter is Summer's sister, which I fucking hated the names. But I say this as being a star and having a brother named Sky. So I guess like it's irritating as shit to me where people are like, oh, I love your guys' names. Were your parents hippies? No, bitch. I just really, really, really loved my name so much. No, I just think, and it's not even like my parents were like lazy. It was genuinely wasn't meant to be my name, which is kind of how it happened. Like as like they're filling out the birth certificate,
gotcha.
Like back in the day when the Twilight drugs were really fucking good. And Skye actually is named after an isle in Ireland, not actually after Sky in the sky.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you put an E on it, everybody, because I'm sure you all do it, it actually changes the meaning, and they're actually an isle in Ireland, which actually irritates me because a lot of girls have the name Skye, Skye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Do you even know what that means? Or you just, your parents thought it would be cool to add an E to it. It irritates me. I know I'm ranting over here, but it really does. It bothers me. I can't stand.
Well, and their whole situation was weird. So
yeah, like hot and cold is how it felt. Like it was like, are you fucking shitting me?
I think even Theo calls her an ice queen at one point. But but Winter.
And then that's when she fucking was like.
Winter was the older sister of her dad and the woman that he's still married to. I can't remember her name right now.
Well, we don't want to remember her name because she's a fucking bitch. She makes you honestly, truly fucking hate her. Like even in the end, I even after Winter's story, I still couldn't fucking like her.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, Winter and her were kind of sort of close. No, that bitch I still hated her at the end. I was like, it doesn't get better. Like. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's perspective in the situation, you always think, oh, when somebody else tells a story, you'll get a little better view. No, that bitch still is horrible. And I was like, damn,
I could understand a little bit of her bitchiness because her husband did have an affair with the nanny. And then they had Summer. Okay,
I'm not agreeing with the having an affair with the nanny, but when you get like multiple books in, you can see why he had an affair with the nanny.
I mean, I get it.
I mean, like, she wasn't. So you're talking about Ice Queen. That bitch was a fucking glacier. You were just hitting. It was like the Titanic just fucking running in and sinking. You weren't winning that fucking battle. Like that bitch was never gonna thaw. Like ever. She was even mean to her own daughter. Yeah. Like I'm sorry. Like.
And
I thought she was going to get better. I really did. I thought there was going to be like some moment where you were like, oh, never happened.
No. And it formed Winter to be the way she is too, because Winter is very icy. She's very closed off, and they have a very complicated relationship because her stepmom wanted nothing to do with her. And so she was raised by her dad the whole time. Well, the nanny left.
Or Summer.
The nanny left. And so
you said Winter.
No, Winter. Her Summer's stepmom had nothing.
Okay, but you said Winter, so I was confused. I was like, "Where are you going with this?"
I was saying Winter was really icy. She was raised by her mom primarily, and then Summer was raised by her dad primarily because the nanny left. So her mom, her
well, yeah, the nanny has to leave. Left. Like, I'm sorry, like you're not. I'm not. No, but okay. This is the one thing I do agree with Winter's mother, who for whatever reason we can't remember her name because she's such a bitch. We'll just refer to her as the bitch.
Winter's mother, the bitch.
I do understand asking her to leave though. Like that would be very difficult
But she decided to not have any contact, like anything to do with this kid. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly,
she
but
was
I'm pretty
from a different country or something, right? Wasn't she?
I don't remember the specifics, but she did not want to have this kid. She just she gave it over to Summer's dad and was like, here you go. Bye, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I guess it didn't really bother me. Like I was just like, cool, whatever. Like single parents are a real thing. Like,
no, it totally is. But it was like living in a single parent household with married parents.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was like kind
of. But that happens
dynamic.
to a lot of kids.
Yeah, and we'll get into Summer and Winter's relationship. It's even more complicated than that.
Yeah.
But going back to Rhett is home. He is taking a little bit of break away from the big circuit that he's on.
Yeah.
Because he's like in first place. Like he's like, I don't need to go to all these tiny competitions. I can just go to the big ones and I'll still maintain on top.
Yes.
Because he's going for another world championship in bull riding. And so he comes home to kind of deal with everything, to be away from the negativity. He does experience some of the people in his hometown being like, hey, fuck you, dude. Like, this is what we do. We're dairy farmers. We do all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that is hard because I don't know. They do everything though. They do everything from like cattle to fields, like and hay and everything. Like it's not like a.
And I feel like with having Rhett be so famous and so popular, It's like you were the representation of us, and now you're screwing us. Like you're making these statements that could influence people, even though like one bull rider saying they don't like milk is not going to make the entire dairy industry collapse. But like it still pissed them off because they're like, we supported you. We made sure that we were showing up to your rodeos when you were younger and like all this kind of stuff. So I think that was part of it. Also, Summer had a poster of Rhett in her room when she was little.
Yes.
And used to like kiss it and all that kind of stuff because she was like in love with Rhett Eaton way before all of this. But when Summer finally meets Rhett in person, she's like, I'm having to babysit this 34-year-old man who couldn't just not say he hated milk on camera. And now like I'm living at a random person's house.
But they weren't that much of an age difference.
I think she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah, but that's still like...
Because Kate is 36 or 38 and Willa's the same age as Summer.
Yeah, so sure. Okay, so if she's like 24, then it'd be like 10 years, and then Kate and her would be like 12 years. It's something like that,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Something like that.
I was like, it can't be that. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you're probably too young for this, but JTT, everybody
JTT.
had the JTT. I did not. Star's awesome and didn't like any of those stupid little blonde-haired boys.
I only knew him from Home Improvement, and then I did later learn that he was young Simba's voice. That's what I know about JTT. I was too young to be like in the JTT fan craze, but I knew about it pop culturally.
He's the only one that I could think of that like everybody in the world would be like, oh my god, I had that poster, because I don't think I went into any one of my friends' rooms that didn't have that poster. I was not that girl. I mean, obviously you can tell I'm still not that girl. I still don't fucking follow that whole like, I don't get it. I'm like, who?
Dude, I had a phase where I was buying like J14 and like a bunch of these magazines, and I had literally my entire walls, my ceiling, my door was posters that I just ripped out of these magazines, and it was like the Jonas Brothers and Justin Bieber, and like
I wonder like if people walked into my room and was like, Star's so boring, her walls are purple and blue and black. Like that was literally like, I didn't have like, I was just like, whatever. They were just painted. I didn't have posters. No, I don't even think I had pictures.
I had a huge Twilight phase. That was around the same time. Middle school was like my magazine Twilight phase where I was just like,
I did put posters,
the pretty boys up.
I did put posters on my son's room, but they were like,
not pretty boys.
No, they were like, I feel bad for that kid. I like was like, here's cool rocks. Like I just tried, like I wanted him to like have a normal childhood. Like I was like, rocks, I don't know. What do boys like? I do have to say though, I did put a one-piece flag on his ceiling. So like when you wake up, there's like a one-piece flag. I thought that was pretty freaking cool.
That's cool.
But that was like, my son's totally me. He's like, fucking, what is this shit on my wall? Like, why? Why do these people put shit on their wall? I don't know. Like, but my son's way more into like internet-y stuff than I am. Like I'm like, who's that? Let me Google that. Hold on, Katie, explain what this means.
I'm like, here, Star, let me tell you all of this information.
I feel like Daniel gets a lot of that from me. Daniel, what is Katie talking about? Google that shit for me. Oh no, let me here, Star, don't you worry, I got you. And he'll like literally like sit in next to me, and he'll just be like, we'll be whispering in the back wall, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's what that is. And he'll be like, yeah, you've never seen this? And I'll be like, no. And then I'll be like, Katie, I know all about that. But like Daniel has to like explain it to me, and sometimes I worry
in the corner.
Yeah, sometimes I worry about him. I'm like, that poor guy. Like he's over here educating his work wife. Like, hey, get that shit together. Like you don't know shit that's happening in the world. We're like, no, I don't. I'm old lady.
To be fair, you probably know more relevant and like adult shit that I should probably pay attention to.
I might know more like the news. I'm like the old lady with the newspaper. Like, did you see today?
You literally come up to me and you're like, did you see this news article? And I'm like, no, but
I'm over there like tuning the radio and shit. Did you hear about so and so? The bombing is happening. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like so not on top of.
I'm like, did you watch Robert Irwin on Dancing with the Stars?
No, I did though. I did, because damn, every fucking millennial was on that shit. We were all like, what happened? We were like, when did that boy grow up?
Okay, back to Rhett Eaton.
Rhett Eaton.
Back to Rhett Eaton. I have to say, for my first cowboy, I don't mind Rhett Eaton in general, but the first night that they're there, Bo has an idea that they are all going to go out to the rail spur.
Yes, I was thinking about this.
And Rhett gets surrounded, but he's trying to just avoid Summer at this point. Summer's like, fuck you, I can't believe I have to babysit you. And Rhett's like, I don't need a babysitter, get away from me.
Yeah.
And so Rhett is like surrounded by all these women from his hometown. They're just like, oh my God, Rhett. Like, Rhett, take me home, Rhett. Like, and then.
Come on. Okay, so before she gets started, how many people, and I would love to see this in the comments, would not want to bang like the hot guy? Like, that would be like, okay, what's his name? The Rock. That would be like The Rock coming home back to like the islands, and every island girl being like, whatever, he's just The Rock. Like, hell no. Every girl on the island's gonna be like, I'll take a piece. I want to tell somebody that I had a piece of that.
The thing was that Rhett wasn't enjoying it though. He just did not want to spend time with Summer.
I know, so but I'm just saying, like, as a girl, I'm just saying, I mean, I get you come into the goddamn. But it wasn't even that he was hot. It was just like, I want to mark that shit on my wall. I want to tell my next girlfriend, like, hey, I got Rhett. I'm sorry. I think it's a normal response to like.
No, I understand why women were fawning over him. I mean, it's just like having buckle bunnies just in your hometown. Oh my fucking God, right?
I forgot about buckle bunnies. But I can't stand Rhett's hair. Like when he walks into the bar and his hair's like shaggy.
He's got the longer
I was like, no.
Hair. Yeah.
No.
I don't like longer hair on dudes. I don't like long hair on dudes. I can see like more.
No, I'm a definitely. Your shit needs to be either long, touching your ass, or don't have it at all. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I know you got to grow it out, but don't talk to me if you're growing it out. Like, I don't want to, like, there's some men where I just want to brush their fucking hair. I'm just like, come here, let me just brush that mane. Like, I'll ride that pony. Let me brush it.
Rhett Eaton you do not want to ride the pony.
No, dude, because he's got like, I don't know. They describe it like it's like shoulder length, and the worst part is I picture it as like that like curly kind of shit, that. Like where it like doesn't really have like any. It's got like a wave because it doesn't know what the hell it's doing.
No, I'm into that.
It's a weird fucked up length. No,
nope,
it's
I'm
just
into
gross. That. She's into that. She's gross.
So yeah, Rhett's hanging out with these women, and then Beau's like, "Hey, Summer, I got a really good idea." And I think Cade's there too, and so is Jasper.
Yeah, but Cade's like, I don't know.
Cade's just kind of.
Cade's like the dad, like, don't do that. That's stupid.
Cade's like, I don't know. That's a good idea. But he's like, no, it's going to be funny. So they start ordering milk-based drinks over to Rhett.
I'm telling you.
And Summer's just dying. Beau's dying. Jasper's like doing his silent laugh in the corner. And we are introduced to Bailey, who is the waitress, and that's another that was.
I haven't read Bailey's story. That's how I know. Like I hadn't gotten there yet. So,
but it was another moment where you're like, oh, this waitress has got to be important. But she's very quiet. This is also our introduced into.
I think when you get a name for a character, they're important.
Yeah.
I think if you get like an actual name, that's why I'm wondering if like Mother Bitch doesn't have a name because I don't remember it because she's not important. She's just like a filler character.
I think she does.
Like, she does have a name.
Summer references.
It's like Doctor something, and I just like my brain is like, we gave so little shits about her. We don't remember her name. That's how important she is to our story.
Oh my God. But so they start doing that, and then there's one girl at the bar who's just like, "Oh my God, Rhett, get this! He hates milk. Like, I can't believe they're doing this."
Yeah, I think Rhett. The first one's like an actual ice cold glass of milk.
Well, that's what happens later. They give him a White Russian.
Oh, that's what it is. I was trying to think of the liquor. I was like, "What liquor has milk in it?" And my brain was like mudslide, but that's not really like.
No. And the funny thing is too that so Bailey Jansen, who is the waitress at the Rail Spur, they have a complicated relationship with the Jansons in general, which we kind of see a little bit in this book. But they share a property line. They're on next to each other's property. The Jansons just don't take care of anything. They always like end up parking their tractors on the Eaton land, like all that kind of stuff. And they have been in like a fight since they were like forever.
Yeah, but
Bailey's the only good thing that came out of that family.
That's like one of those things though that like, okay, so have you ever owned land? Like, is this like it's like a thing though. Like sometimes like you know where your line is, but sometimes you're just like, whatever. We own like 182 acres. They own like 182 acres. Like somewhere in the middle, it's like, really, you're going to get real mad about that 1 acre that like, I mean, but keeping your shit clean does make sense. Like, I get that.
Well, and you'll see when you read Bailey's book. But like, the Jansons.
I know they do like shit already. Like in another book, they do shit to each other. Yeah.
No, so we get introduced to that, and Bailey's like very sweet, very quiet, and so involving Bailey in this is actually pretty funny because their families have been so at war. They've always considered Bailey not a part of that, but I just thought it was kind of a funny inclusion to be like, all right, well, Bailey's like technically in our enemy family, but she's still kind of one of us. And Bailey's like, okay. And at first she's like really nervous about it. And I think they're saying it's from his admirer or his wife or something like that. Like it's something like really funny that she's like, oh, this is from your whatever.
I think she changes it every time she puts it down.
It might be.
Because I think his brother's like constantly like, and then he's like giggling so hard that like obviously he's like, God damn it.
Yeah, Rhett looks over and he's like, fuck you guys. And that's when he sees Summer's actually laughing and he's like, damn, she's like cute when she laughs. and that's kind of when Summer first opens up to the idea that she's going to be living in Chestnut Springs for the next few months.
Yes.
And that's when we really get our introduction into who these people are. And we also have, I think towards the beginning, Willa Grant, we get introduced to, who is her best friend. We will see her again in Heartless.
So I have to be honest. When I first read Willa, I was like, I think I'm Willa, right? So I was totally like on board with the Willa story. I was like, I love this female. She's so strong, independent, so me, right? And then I was like, God damn it, why am I Winter? But Willa's so fun and charismatic that I thought for sure, like, oh my God, like, she's so cute and like
she's the balance that Summer needs, because Summer, while she does have a lot of fun, she's also still, and she's more like bubbly. And she also, Summer, when she was younger, had a heart condition that required multiple surgeries. She had complications from the surgeries and all that kind of stuff. So she has a different perspective on life. She's like, I'm lucky to even be here. So she always tries to think like, if I was going to die right now, would I be happy? And she tries to make changes in her life in that moment if she's not.
Because she spent like months in the hospital after her heart condition. And it was like, that's kind of where we kind of like realized that like a lot of her family is doctors, because everybody's like, but I was curious, and it doesn't actually ever say, but do you ever think that her sister became a doctor because of her heart condition?
I don't know.
Because it couldn't have been because of her mother, because her mother was such a bitch. That
I don't know.
I think there was like some part of her that had like the personality to be a doctor, but like Summer was a lawyer and she was a doctor. So obviously their family was obviously well educated. But my question was always, the whole time I was thinking about it, was that like, because she like sneaks into the hospital and stuff. And like
Winter did come in and like support her and stuff while she was in the hospital.
Because that family relationship was really screwed up.
Yeah, it was really weird. Because the only reason they weren't good sisters to each other was because of the stepmom. Like that was entirely the block between them. And so that is a good question, because she was in the hospital when she was in high school. So Winter would have been a year or two older. They're pretty close in age.
They're pretty close. I want to say she's probably like 2 years older. There's probably, like 18 months would make reasonable.
Yeah.
So you figure, okay, so she was in high school. She's probably going to her like just beginning of her school, like getting her GE done. So what would you make? That's when you start making decisions. That's what I keep telling my son. I'm like, you can kind of pre-plan it out, but usually it's like when you're in the middle of your general education that you're like, oh, this is kind of a fun class. Maybe I want to do that for a living. Like, so I could just see it though, like her, like, I mean, she obviously doesn't ever say. We're speculating, but
yeah, I don't remember that Summer ever talks about why she became a doctor, but it really could have been that.
Yeah, I don't think she ever actually says.
Yeah, so we have that first night out, and then they're kind of still chilly to each other. Rhett is living in the main house because they each of the brothers has their own house. Bo has a little house. Cade has a little house on the property, and then Harvey obviously lives in the main house.
I don't think that Rhett has a house, because doesn't he talk about how like he's gonna like retire and build the house he wants?
Yeah, he doesn't have a house yet because he's just been on the bull riding circuit for so long.
But it makes sense though to not have a house, like if you're not.
He doesn't set down roots basically. He always figured he'd come back to Chestnut Springs, but he's not back yet. He also talks about he's getting too old to be on the bull riding circuit.
34 is hella old. When she said 34, I fucking died. Okay, so I've been waiting to tell this because Katie finally got to the point where I could actually like give this story. So I was in my 20s and I was dating a bull rider, which by the way is really fucking fun. Just so you guys know.
Oh my God.
Date a bull rider, okay? They're fucking wild and they have like no sense of pain, okay? These guys are like ridiculously crazy. So we end up meeting through a friend of a friend, which by the way, I am pure city girl. I don't give a shit if I can get dirty and grungy and be in the woods. I don't ride horses. I don't do anything. So when we met, he was like, I don't want to be with this city girl. Like, what the hell? She's like a hardcore city licker. And I was like, I'm not that bad. I can do it, right?
This is like every romance book.
Right? so I'm like, I can be a city girl. And so we start dating and he's just like, no, this girl's got like nothing, right? But we didn't end up working out because I definitely was way too city. But I'll tell you what, bull riders are fucking ridiculously like, I think he broke like every bone in his body. I think like he would break a bone and still get back on the bull. Like they have like no concept of pain. Like God. He would come back and he'd be like limping and he was only like 23. Okay, we're talking like he looked 40 when he was a baby.
No.
Yeah, and they also are really crazy. I think even Theo has an issue with the helmet. I don't know what it is about helmets. It does not look that bad. Like I don't know why, but I think he hit his head a couple times.
Yeah, Rhett was the one who told Theo he needed to wear the helmet.
Yeah, like these boys, but like no, he was so much fun though. But they don't feel like any pain. There's like something wrong in their like, and they have like I don't know how to explain it. He was so much fun though. So we had a lot of wild nights. I don't really think we ever had anything beyond wild nights, but those fuckers can drink too. Like you get in the bull like in the scene, and those guys are like. I definitely was like too preppy for it. I was like, I got my cute boots. Like, look at me. Like, I
so
definitely
like
wasn't.
Who showed up
I definitely wasn't
the
girl. Yeah, I was not the girl to be. Like, they would take me into these like bars, and I'd be like, "What do you mean the honky tonk?" I'd be like staring at them and be like, "What is this?" And it was just so embarrassing. But yeah, I do have to say, bull riders are an interesting breed. And now that I'm older and like a little more country, 100%. If you're a bull rider, call me. Yeah, because I'm like totally like, I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like, why the hell was I so... I definitely wasn't city, but I was compared to these guys. Like, these guys could drink you under the table. And I just kind of would like sit in the corner and like listen to their stories. And bull riders are, I don't know, man. Just like, I think he broke like his wrist just doing like the twist thing. Like, because they break their stuff so much that like... it just like refractures.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so 34 is hella old. I think he retired at like 28, I think. And he was already like 24 when we were like, yeah, it's just, it's crazy. Not a 34 is old. When I was reading this story, I was like, dude, I know she did her research, but like, you're on your way out at 34.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's
if you're
what
not,
Rhett said too.
But if you're not already retired at 34, like, you got to be picking and choosing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I know he does, but I'm saying like, those guys like, and even when she was talking about Rhett, I was thinking like, okay, so here's a thought. It's like 3 seconds they have to stay on, right?
I think it's 6 seconds.
Is it 6 seconds?
Something like that, or 8.
It's so short that you think for sure that you're gonna be like, oh, that's so short, right? But like, it's a really long time when you're trying to save your life. Like you're like on the bull and you're like, oh my God.
It's 8 seconds.
It is 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking it was longer, but then I was like, I think the last time I was like, it's like 15 seconds. And my friend was like,
15 seconds?
Hell?
Could you
like,
imagine being on a bull bucking for 15 seconds?
Yeah,
Jeez.
and it's crazy. It's crazy. Those boys, but they're wild in bed. I have to tell you, girls, if you guys meet a bull rider or even a guy that does Bronco boys, they're yeah. Those are wild men. Gotcha. You read those sexy stories. Those are the boys you want. Because they're the boys that are like tip their hat and take you out and open the door for you, but they'll also show you the rough and tough in the bedroom. I think that's why I dated him, because I was like hardcore, like, I'm a princess.
You're like, wrap me up.
And everybody needs to treat me like a princess. I know that's my problem.
Speaking of princess, how do you feel about Rhett using the nickname that her father used all the time? He called her princess too.
I don't know. I hated the nickname.
It gave me a little bit of an ick. I mean, at first it was like a jokey thing. But when she starts being like, when he says it though, I'm just like, no. Like,
no.
That's what your dad calls you.
Right?
Like, something else. I love the other nicknames in this series. Like,
I fucking hate all the nicknames. I'm not a nickname person. I like, call me by my name or don't call me anything. Like,
call me by my name. Call me by your name.
Call me by your name. Yeah, because like some of them are like, like she does. Like, but my brain was like, okay, daddy. I don't know. Like, it doesn't do it for me. Like, the princess is, I don't know.
The daddy thing with Willow I thought was hot. I also like that he called her Red, but that's another story for when we cover our list.
Because that was a little different. But I think, like, but she kind of was a princess. Like, I have to be honest. Like, there is I don't know. I definitely have it in me, too. Like, there's, like, a part of me that's like, I get it, girl. Like, you got, like, the nice boots and the stuff. Like, yeah, you can get dirty, but you're kind of still the, like, you know, you want to drive the Denali, not the Chevy that, like, really needs to be driven. I don't know. It's just a different...
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the nice shit in life. Yeah.
So the first time that we see her on tour with Rhett is when he first kind of starts warming up to her. Other than like he kind of noticed her in the bar and is like, oh, she's like playing along with this. That's kind of, I hate it, but I also kind of like it at the same time. So they go out on tour. He does his first thing, and she's never actually watched bull riding.
No.
And she's like, this is horrifying. Like,
bull riding
I'm terrified
is
right now.
Fun. Like to watch. It's like watching hockey. If you really like that, like abusive, like throw that shit against the glass, you know, like when you're watching the fishbowl, it's like the same concept. Bull riding is like a sexy, like.
Well, here's the thing. I read all these books and I'm like, do I need to go to a rodeo?
Yes. We have them around town all the time.
I know.
Yes.
Well, and then, like
especially
I was talking
Bronco.
to my mom, and she's like, I don't know if you would want to go to a rodeo. I'm like, I think I might. And then I'm like, I need to go to a hockey game. And my mom's like, you've never liked hockey.
No, it's different when you're there. Like watching the hockey game, like in the fishbowl, is like it's different,
I'd
man.
like
it's
to
like
watch
it's
a
like going to the
professional
aquarium, right? Like you're like,
It's
look
the
at
boy
the turtle, right? You're like, oh my god, look at that hottie, woo, yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's like,
just don't let him smile at you. If he's crooked teeth or his teeth falling out, you're like, I don't care how many bridges you put in, it's not cute.
But yeah. So they end up he rids the bull, and she's like, this is horrible. I don't know why you do this. And then she recognizes he's hurt. Like he has a shoulder injury. And then I think it's not this one, but the next ride he can't get the rope off his hand. So he's trying to get off the bull after he's made it the 8 seconds, and he's stuck. That ends up hurting his hand too. So she gets like the bruise cream and like brings him some ibuprofen and Tylenol and stuff to, you know, help him out. And then I think on that same trip is when he finds out that the heat in her room is not working at the hotel. And he's like, why are you always so cold when you come in here? And she's like, oh, the heat doesn't work. I've just been like sleeping in a parka in multiple layers. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, did you tell the front desk? And they're like, she's like, yeah, but it's not fixed. And he's like, you're sleeping in my room. And she's like, I don't think I should do that. Because at this point, she's also kind of starting to be like, oh, he's kind of hot. Like, and like he takes off his shirt. Like she has to help him take off his shirt because of his shoulder and everything. And she's like rubbing the bruise cream into him and stuff, and like the muscle cream and stuff. And she's like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You got to find a way to find out if you like each other or not. Like
they definitely had chemistry, and then she does end up staying in the room eventually, but nothing happens during that time. They're just like snuggling basically, and they kind of like talk about. She had some pretty horrible experiences with her ex.
Yeah.
And that's a very complicated situation. So she's mentioned Rob before. And I think during this trip, Rob calls her. Or they get back and Rob calls and is like, what were you doing?
No,
like,
he texts her like throughout the whole trip.
He texts her
and then he calls her, I think.
He's like, I saw you in the crowd.
Yeah, because he's creepy and stalks her in a way that like is like, I don't know, like it's not really stalking, I guess, because
it's absolutely stalking because that first one was not televised. So he was online searching through videos of the crowd and found her in it.
Okay.
So that first one was for sure.
That's true. I had to think about it. I was like, it's not really stalking, right? Like, because it was posted, but I guess that yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's when we see Rhett's like, no, that's not okay.
No, because isn't he like 40 or some ridiculous?
He is older. So Rob was her cardiologist.
Yes, when she was
in high school. And they kind of started having an emotional thing before she was legal. And the second she turned 18, they started sleeping together.
Which I don't think is appropriate, but I can kind of understand because isn't there like a thing that's like where doctors and their patients, or the patient likes the doctor?
Yeah, the patient is like in love with him because they saved him.
Yeah, there's like some weird. I mean, when you're in the hospital all day long, though, like I can't imagine. You're bored. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes, like I know, like there's patients that are like so lonely that you can just end up like. But the doctor's not usually in the room long enough to like.
No, which means that this cardiologist was spending
going
a lot more
out
time
of his way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would see the nurse probably a lot. The nurse would be more likely to be the person you'd fall for because you would see them the most.
Mm-hmm. And so that was completely inappropriate. That's actually how Rhett and Summer kiss for the first time. Is they are outside the hospital, I believe, because Rhett's gonna get a scan because she finally convinced Rhett, you are injured, you need to go get checked out.
Yeah.
So they go to the hospital to get like an MRI and that kind of stuff. And they're waiting outside or they're walking outside, and then she sees his car pull up, and she's like, shit. I think it's like Dr. Hart.
I was thinking like his license plate had something really stupid on it that makes you want to like bash his windows in with a bat. Like, yeah.
And at this point, I think Rhett doesn't know the full extent for sure at this point. But she's like, there's my ex. And he's like, okay, well, kiss me. And we'll and so then they end up making out, and then they both are like, oh, this is great. Which is always what happens when they have like we're going to do a fake kiss. Because it's a romance book and this
Star just eye rolled.
But he gets pissed. And then I think Rob texts her or calls her and is like, are you fucking serious, Summer? What are you doing?
Oh, I know. Because there's something seriously wrong with him because he's a married fucking man.
He's married to her sister.
I know. It's the whole fucking thing is just wrong. It's just wrong.
And they were like sleeping together throughout this whole time until I think even after they were married.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess I think they were. I thought they weren't. I thought
maybe
they stopped
he
sleeping
broke
together.
Up at that
no,
point.
I think she did. I think Summer
did,
did because Summer's like, I can't do that to my sister. Yeah, is what I was thinking.
Maybe I don't remember exactly, but I was just like, when that gets revealed, and I would have probably reacted the same way Rhett did, where he punched him in the face. It's just like, what is happening?
What's crazy though is they all work at the hospital together, right? So crazy bitch mom works there. Winter works there, and Dr. Rob works there. So they're all fucking in the same hospital. And it's not even like an extremely big hospital, right? Like,
yeah, this is like a small town hospital because it's not Chestnut Springs, but it's close by.
Yeah, and then she comes to Chestnut Springs to work for a while.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
she gets.
So
that's
they
how
have
she
like
gets
a
away
bigger
from Rob.
hospital, and then they have like a small community hospital.
Yeah,
is how I pictured it.
So they were at the big hospital in the city at this point because Winter ends up coming to get away from Rob.
Because I think the bigger hospital has like more of the machines and
the
stuff.
Imaging and all that kind of stuff.
Like which is fairly common in most of the most of the cities have like a bigger hospital with like little tiny ones that you can kind of break off into like see things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was really interesting. Like
that whole dynamic was so messy, and we'll talk about it a little bit later too, because so they have that first time, the bull riding and everything, and then we come back to Chestnut Springs, and I think that's when they find out that the Jansons left their tractor.
Oh yeah.
On their property, and so then Bo's like, let's go TP it, and then Rhett's like, hell yeah, I'm down, and then Cade's like, fine, let's go. Like as everything with Cade, he actually was more excited to do this than like anything that they've done pretty much. Cade's like, all right, I hate the Jansons, let's go. So they ride out there, and then the Jansons start showing up, and Rhett's in the tractor, like getting everything in the inside. And the other two are just bolt. They're like, bye, peace out, fucker. Like, you're stuck here with the Jansen boys coming at you.
Oh, that's right, because they were coming, and weren't they like drinking or something?
Yeah,
like
they were
Jansen
totally
boys
drunk.
Were like,
they were drunk, and then they were like, what happened here? But Rhett's like, I have two options. I can get out of this and run, and they'll see me, or I can just lay here and know that they're probably too drunk to do anything about this right now. And so he decides to just hang out. They eventually leave, and he's like, well, I'll finish TPing the inside. And so he does that. And then Summer rides a horse for the first time in years, rides out to him and was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but see, this is what irritated me about this story, was that Summer could ride a horse. Like, it was like, come on, dude. And most of us country girls are like, city girls that are country are like, oh, horse. Like, I have friends that can ride, but like, I don't know. It just really bothered me. It was like, I felt like it was way too like, oh my God, I love this girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was like, okay, this is the moment. she's not a little city slicker. I don't know.
Yeah, she she does that, and then he ends up having to ride with her because his horse ran away too. So they ride together.
Yes.
Starting to go back, and then they start getting a little too close. And she's like, I'm walking the rest of the way. I can't do this. Like, this is not happening.
Well, how else are you supposed to ride a horse? You're gonna slip into the same.
No, but I think he doesn't he like pin her up against the fence and they like almost kiss or something. There's intense chemistry in this scene, and she's like, this is my first client I've had in this PR firm. Granted, PR is not necessarily what she wants to do. She became a lawyer just to become a lawyer because that was just the path she ended up on, but she wants to be a personal trainer. That exercising and like coaching people are her passion, and she ends up actually coaching Rhett But she's like, this is my first chance I've had at a major client that I'm doing anything with, and I'm not screwing this up by sleeping with him, because then what does it look like? I just sleep with every client that I'm with. And so that's her main reason for avoiding Rhett.
I mean, she's not wrong. I would have thought had the same. I mean, anybody looking in on it would think the same thing, especially if that's your job as PR. Mm-hmm. Your whole idea is what does everybody see, not what is actually happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, she was pretty smart about that. But I don't know, like their whole relationship was weird from the beginning.
Well, that's their first, like, other than like obviously kissed for the fake kiss that they had, and then they're realizing that this attraction is a lot more than they were expecting. And then that was kind of their first like big like, oh no, we almost did something. Rhett's like, why didn't we do something? And Summer's like, I can't do this. So she like leaves. She's like, I can't believe you would put my career on the line by doing something this stupid. What if you got arrested? Like, I am putting everything out here for my job to make this happen.
I like the what if you got arrested, because like, come on, like they're gonna do something right back to you. Like, they're not gonna spend time with the freaking cops. This is like,
but she doesn't know the Jansons.
Yeah, that's true. I just think if you like, lived in the country, you would know that that's like a whole thing.
Just retaliate against each other instead of using the authorities
over and over again.
Yeah, very possibly. But so
what is it? Shoot first, ask questions later. Like, they're not gonna call the cops.
Yeah, that's their first big like, oh yeah. And so Summer starts training Rhett to help strengthen his shoulder and stuff.
Yes.
And he's just like, you are evil. Like, these exercises are horrible. And then they end up going to the next rodeo on the circuit, and he does like awesome interviews. Summer and him are having like a real friendship growing together. And then she's like cheering in the crowd. There's a point where they're in the crowd and like no one's cheering for him really, because they had that whole big scandal, and she stands up and whistles. And so he always recognizes her whistle now every time he rides. And I just popped into my head all of a sudden. But yeah, so that happens, and that's when she's like, I can't do this. Meanwhile, she's getting texts from Willow like every day. They're like, did you bang the cowboy yet?
I mean, because this is why I was like, this is my friend, right? I'm the girl that's like texting my friends like, did you do it? Oh my God. Especially like, I don't know. You can't be on the road with somebody. I think they're on the road for like months, right? Like a couple months.
I think her whole assignment is like 2 months or something, or 3 months. So it's like, pretty short. Like,
well, 3 months to me is a long time to be like, hey, especially if the chemistry is like, I don't know, dude. It was just the whole story on that one was rough, because I was like, oh my God, like their chemistry is so strong. Like, you're gonna lose this battle. Like, and then the worst part is though, okay, so obviously they end up together, but the worst part is I thought about this like as like a side note. What if they ended up screwing and like it just ended up being like,
it was just awful?
Yeah, like it was just like, oh shit, we did it. Like now I gotta go like be your friend outside. I don't know. I guess it's because that's how my like life is. Like, I screwed a cowboy, I screwed a bull rider, and then it's like, it didn't really work out. Like, it was a good lay, but that was about as far as that went. I guess my problem is that I'm always like, Katie, it doesn't work out in the end. It's a fucking lie. We're all gonna be alone.
It's very possible to work out. I'm happily married.
Stars just got the broken picker. It's just like,
I didn't marry a bull rider or a cowboy though. So
I don't know if I could have though. Like, there's a couple cowboys I've met over the years that I'm like, damn, like you guys give the fucking best treatment I've ever had in my life, but I don't have it. I don't have it in me. I don't want to ride a fucking horse. And like 90% of them were like, I need a girl that can ride. And I'm just like,
I'm out.
Yeah. Do you remember the Only Farmers? Like, I always thought about like, going on there because those boys are fucking gentlemen. They're like, their daddies trained them right. I don't know what the difference is.
I think their mamas trained them
right. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is, but somewhere along the way.
I think it's also like, in small towns, there tends to be like a old school chivalry type of thing because it's less of a fast paced world. I think when you end up in cities and stuff and you end up with like not being on farms, not being in like where you know everybody who comes in the coffee shop or like any of that kind of stuff, you're running small boutiques or whatever. Yeah. You're not so ingrained in really caring about those interpersonal interactions as much when you live in larger cities. It's like, I have no idea who you are, barista, give me my coffee, I'm leaving. I'm not here to have a conversation with you. And so I think some of those relationships get kind of pared down when you end up with so many people around you. Whereas like in small towns, you probably have more of that. Like, I can take the time and slow down and make sure I am being chivalrous or I am spending time to get to know you in a certain way.
I could see that. I guess like my biggest problem is those like Metro Boys. I can't handle those Metro Boys. I don't even know if that's still the name they go by anymore, but when I was younger, that was the name we called them, was Metro.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a politically correct term or not.
I don't know what they're called, honestly. But just those guys that are just like, I don't know. If I wanted another girl, like I would just date a girl. Like, I'm sorry.
So you don't want more feminine men?
No.
I think that would probably be more correct way to say that.
But like, I thought Metro was like the polite term. Like that was what we called them.
I don't know.
That was like a hardcore. Like you were a guy, you dressed like a guy. You just had like a very like clean,
a softer personality,
clean look that was just like
maybe.
You got dirty and you like freak out about it.
Yeah. I don't know what the proper term is for that.
I'm like, go throw me in the mud and let's go get rounded up. I don't know, like, just lasso me. Drag me through the mud, baby. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm like, I know a couple guys that are like that are like, oh my God, I got dirty. And I'm like, we're camping. We're camping. Like, dirty is what you're going to get. Wash your hands. Get over yourself. Like, your clothes are going to come home and get washed.
You know, the whole lasso me thing, I already have like a million books you're going to be reading. But when you eventually get to the Rose Hill series, Wild Eyes, I think it has some lassoing in it. I believe that was the one.
I just don't want to be hog-tied. Just don't hog-tie me.
No, there's no hog-tying. But, yeah.
I don't know if I can physically get in that position to be hog-tied.
I think the only hog-tying I've seen was in Caught Up.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, so the next time that they are on the circuit, so we've had it's kind of like montagey. They end up on a few times that they're going to the rodeos and stuff, and Summer and him are building their friendship and everything. And then one day it starts becoming a little too much, and Summer ends up heading over to the Pin to like where the Buckle Bunnies are to like see the backstage area to go see Rhett afterwards. And I think there's a Buckle Bunny talking to him. He's not like flirting with her at that point. We know from Rhett's perspective. But he's just trying to get her away from her. But from Summer's perspective, she's like, okay, cool. I'm glad you just like flirt with all the Buckle Bunnies. And he did have a reputation of just sleeping through as many Buckle Bunnies as possible.
What are you going to do? You're literally on the road. That's another thing, Cowboy. They do it, though. Like, even the guy
Single
was with,
dude on the road. No roots to put down. Like, sure, whatever. Get your rocks off their offering. Sure, whatever. But he's past that now, and he's really interested in Summer. So that is when Summer turns to Emmett. And Emmett is Rhett and Theo's enemy, bull rider.
Fuck, I forgot about this.
Yes, so okay. Emmett's actually going to be a big part of this.
Yes.
We see Emmett a couple times, actually, in these series. So we see Emmett in Flawless, and we'll also see him in Reckless. But when you read Rose Hill, we will see him in Wild Card. And then his book is the first book for Emerald Lake.
Okay.
It is going to be Julia, who is Theo's little sister, and Emmett. So
Theo.
that is coming out in May of next year. I'm so excited for that book. I say that for like everything. I'm so excited for that book. But anyways, Emmett is there, and she's like, all right, like I guess I'll flirt with you. He puts his arm around her, and then they go out to the bars together.
No, Is it in the bar?
She doesn't do the hat yet until the bar.
Oh, I was trying to think it out. When you said the bar, I was like, wait, it's in the bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is actually the book I learned about the cowboy rule.
You didn't
cowboy
know that?
No,
God.
When would I have been around
I
cowboys
don't know,
or anything?
dude. I don't know. I just thought that was like the same way, like if a guy lets you drive his car, usually he likes you. Like, come on. These are like girl things that like, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah. If a guy lets you drive his car, especially if it's like a really nice ass car, like one that he like babies, like, washes it all the time. Not some hoopty that he's like, I don't give a shit about it. It, like it looks like it could have a paint job, could be ripped off, and it wouldn't even make any difference to the paint or to the car. I mean, but like a nice car, like he spent like $50,000 on the car and he gives a shit about it. He washes it and whatever. If he lets you drive it, he fucking likes you.
I guess I never dated a guy with a nice car.
He likes you. Like he's like, you shift the gear slightly, honey.
I'll teach you how to drive the stick.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That means he likes you. So if a guy puts a cat on you, that's an automatic. Like, damn, that he's taken. Like every guy in the bar is like, oh shit, she's taken. That's her. Like,
yeah.
He's like, I don't give a shit about the rest of you. Did you see? I haven't slept with her yet, but did you see? Yeah, that's like what do guys call it? Like Isn't there like a term where guys are like, I saw her first or something like that?
Oh, something like that. Yeah. But this is the wear the hat, ride the cowboy.
Yeah. No, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
I didn't know about this.
No, I can't believe you didn't know that. When she did it, I fucking died in the story. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah, and Summer did not know it either.
Oh
so
God.
Summer is
but he
all this
did.
Time.
He was like, hey.
Yeah, Emmett's like, this is great. And he knows that Rhett's definitely into him.
Hell yeah.
He keeps coming over to Rhett and be like, this girl's wild. Cause And he turns over and she's getting on the mechanical bull and he's like, you'll be fucking kidding me, Summer. And so he like runs over.
She's young and dumb though. And she's a city slicker, so it's obviously an issue.
She's fighting her feelings for Rhett and she wants to just like do something. She's like, I just need to get this out of my system. Obviously, I need to get laid. Like, that's my problem. That's why I'm having all these feelings.
But you don't go to the next cowboy. You got to go outside. Like,
you don't go to the one person Rhett hates.
Don't stay in the family, all right? Like, holy shit.
And Theo's there, too. And Theo's like, dude, this is not good. And he's like, I can't do anything about it. Like, she's my boss's daughter. I can't, like, go. And then there's, like, other buckle bunnies. And they're like, hey, Rhett. And he's just, like, staring at Summer the entire time. And then she puts Emmett's hat on and then they go to do a body shot and that's when Rhett's like, absolutely fucking not.
I mean, but like, I appreciated this moment. This was like best scene in the freaking book because what the hell was she doing? Come on, Summer. I was dying. I was screaming at the book. What the fuck are you doing? Like, but I guess like if you don't know, I guess like I just assumed it was just etiquette that everybody knew. Like,
yeah, but she's from the city and she doesn't know. It would be like if I went, although I don't know that I would be so bold to just like take the cowboy's hat.
I mean, if you had a couple drinks, I would probably have to snatch you and be like, what the fuck are you doing, Katie?
I don't know. You've never seen me drink.
Would be like, oh my God.
You've never seen me drink in public though. I get like super anxious and try to look like I'm not getting drunk. I've never been drunk and I get tipsy. And I've never been like drunk in public, but if when I start to get tipsy, I just start like breaking down.
Really?
I shut down and I'm like, I am not tipsy. I'm not tipsy. I'm not tipsy.
I'm completely the opposite. I'm like, let loose.
I will let loose at home. No. Like my sister and I used to do drunk Disney Channel nights where we would watch like Disney Channel original movies and just get like super wasted and just like dance and sing.
I was thinking like they said a Disney word and you were like, Disney word.
No, like, we would just like turn on. We would do like a Camp Rock night and we would watch just both Camp Rocks and we would just start drinking at the
Oh my God, Katie, you're so young. My God, my kids watch that.
I can count on probably one hand the amount of times I've actually been to a bar like with the purpose of going. Like I've never actually chosen to go to a bar. I think I only did it twice or 3 times in college. And then
college bars are the best. I don't even think I went to college and I was like, college bars, dude, here I come.
I was in a college town too. Like those bars were the best. I went to one of the first times I was in a bar there. This guy walked up to me. It was like, this is a college town. This is mostly young 20-something-year-olds that are there. So 21, 22, 23 are your primary age group here. This guy's probably in his 60s. He's the only old dude that's there, and he walks up to me, and I have this like larger person.
How else is he gonna get laid?
No, he walks up to me. He's hammered, and he just starts petting my purse, and he's like, "This is really soft." And I said, "Please get away from me."
Katie can't.
And my friends just started laughing. They're like, "I've never seen you that direct with anybody." I think I had one vodka cranberry the entire time we were out, and we went to like 3 bars.
Because Katie doesn't know how to drink.
I didn't know how to drink.
You gotta get shit that like you gotta get shit that doesn't taste like alcohol. You think you're drinking like dessert the whole time you're drinking.
I don't know drinks though, and if there's no menu, I'm just like,
there's no menu. I've never thought about a menu.
I don't know drinks. So then my friends were like, my friend walked in and was like, vodka cranberry, please, and I was like, I'll have that too. She's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm drinking. I do like vodka though.
My 21st birthday, I had a shirt that had like all the drinks, and so we're going through, and then when we got to the blowjob, I was like, I don't like whipped cream, and it's like I don't know, like it's it's literally a shot glass with whipped cream is going as high as you can, and then the whole idea is no hands. You put them behind your back, you take it, and then you go all the way down, and then you throw it back. Worst fucking experience of my life. I have to tell you, that's the only fucking drink that I will not drink. So I did that, and then I was already like, I don't know, I think like 9 shots in at this point.
Oh my God.
Pretty fucking wasted. And then but whipped cream is gross on alcohol. You should never mix milk products with alcohol. No. So my stomach was like,
just curdling everything.
Right? And I was like, everything's curdling. And I'm like, fucking A. And I'm just turned 21, literally. Oh, and I had just got my braces off. So I was super fucking excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm so cute. And so I'm on the dance floor and I'm dancing with this guy and he fucking dips me.
Oh no.
And I come back up and I'm like, and I'm holding my mouth with vomit in it, trying not to vomit on this guy. So I have the worst fucking bar stories. Trying not to vomit on this guy. So I take off, I bolt to the bathroom, and I start vomiting. And then this girl comes in and she was like, oh my God, is Star in here? And I was like, I'm in the bathroom. What do you want? I don't know you. And she's like, I heard it's your birthday. And she's like, oh my God, Star, happy birthday. And she starts singing the happy birthday song. So then I come out of the bathroom because I'm embarrassed. And my girlfriend who I was with had told everybody in the bar it was my birthday. So the whole bar starts singing happy birthday.
Oh, no.
I have been throwing up for like, I don't know, 5 fucking minutes. Like everything in my system. And I'm just staring at her like, just distraught, like I can't, what is happening? And I'm like the happy-go-lucky person that would be like, oh my God, happy birthday. And so I like literally looked at her and then I was just like super dizzy while everybody singing happy birthday and I vomited on somebody.
Oh my God.
I was just like, I don't know what just happened. And my friend just grabbed me. She was so fucking embarrassed. She grabbed me and she like threw me out the door. And so the whole fucking bar knows my name. I just blew chunks on somebody. The guy that I was dancing with is just staring at me on the other side of the fucking room like, I'm glad I wasn't that girl, right? Like and it's like a party town, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's so fucking embarrassing, this shit. But I did a lot of stupid shit. So I'm over here like, Katie's over here like, I done it.
Dude, I think before I turned 21, I had 2 Mike's Hard Lemonades at separate times. Not even God. Like... Before I turned 21, and then I turned 21, and I had my birthday party at my house.
Oh my God!
One of my friends brought spiked apple cider, and then we had like I don't know, like more like Mike's Hard Lemonades and stuff. We didn't like drink hard alcohol, and we did get super drunk, but there were only like 6 of us, and we were just like hanging out. At one point, like 2 of my friends were like, "We're gonna take a bicycle cab to go get more alcohol."
Oh my God! and then we drove drunk.
Well,
the
police
would have like we would have been blowing like 0.9.
It was a Saturday night in a college town. The police were everywhere. But they were like, we'll take a bike cab. And then they called the bike cab company and they were like, no, we don't take drunk people on the bike cab. Like we refuse to transport intoxicated individuals on the bike cab. And I think we ended up ordering, it was really awesome. I don't know if it's still there. There was a mac and cheese place that you could get custom mac and cheese. I'm already like,
my stomach is curdling. We just talked about milk and alcohol. Like you're literally adding cheese and alcohol.
Well, the other thing was that I found out when I'm drunk, I really want to eat cold fries.
It's so like, fucking gross.
I want to eat leftover fries.
That's why Denny's makes so much money. Middle of the night, everybody's like, Denny's! Yeah!
I want stale fries that are cold.
Stale fries that are cold and pancakes with syrup on them. I'm not a drinker and an eater. Thank God for that.
I'm not a drinker at all anymore. Like
anymore. I'm old.
I didn't drink very often anyways, but then I got pregnant and now I have a kid. So I'm like, when am I going to drink? Because I'm not going to be intoxicated on my kid.
When am I ever going to get laid again?
He doesn't have to worry about that.
Like every girl in their right mind is watching this going, what the hell, Katie? How did anybody ever get close to you?
I can have sex with my husband without getting drunk. I think that's the key.
Is that the key? That's what Star's been doing around for the last 20 years.
20
years. Hey, baby, I've had a couple drinks. Let's go to bed now.
No, like I said, since I started reading romance and romantasy, my husband's like, this is great. Just keep coming.
Right.
It's like I told him, I was like, and I'm sure he's going to love me telling this story. I was like, I was always good in school.
Shut up. I like literally everything in me was like, ew, I know way too much about Katie right now. The problem that I have is that I know exactly where she's going with this thought process. And my brain was like, oh my God. And like, she gets real fucking dirty. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's my TMI for the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's any more TMI than when we talked about Lights Out or Caught Up.
Oh God, no. No, this is clean comparatively.
This is clean. So, anyways, I've never done a body shot. I think I've only done shots once or twice even. And it was like one shot.
I actually have to tell you, I don't think I've ever done a body shot either. I don't, like, that's the one where they pour like the belly button or something, right?
Yeah, so she put the shot glass between her boobs and then he like licked the salt off of her collarbone.
No, never done it. That's just fucking gross. I'm sorry. Like, don't fucking touch me with your nasty tongue, first of all.
I think she definitely wanted the beard burn, though, so I think she was fine with it.
Second of all. What the fuck? Like...
But the fact that she was going to do it with Emmett. He came over and that was with the whipped creams also there. She has the can of whipped cream in her hand and he does the body shot off of her. And then that's when they leave, and they're like standing outside in like chilly air, and they're both like, are we doing this? And it's like, yeah, we're doing this. So then they end up walking back to the hotel. They're in the elevator, standing on opposite sides of the elevator. She still has the can of whipped cream in her hand. Some dude walks onto the elevator, just standing in the middle of them, and is like looking back and forth at them. I'm like, oh, these two are gonna fuck. This is so awkward.
Like, no, you can like, it's like radiating off of them.
They recognize that too. But so then they end up walking down the hallway, and Rhett's like, this is the time you go back to your room. Like, I'm not gonna be able to stop. Like, blah 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 blah. And that was when they were outside of the bar. That was when he told her the cowboy hat rule. And so they're standing outside. He was angry.
Like,
he's like,
he was like, I'm going to take you back to my room and show you who owns you. Yeah.
He's like, you don't put another guy's hat on.
You don't.
And
but that's like I just thought everybody knew that. That's like, okay, I guess like the best way to take that would be like taking another guy's sweater. If you were to take a guy's sweater in the city, okay, where I'm using city terms here, girls. If you were to take a guy's sweater from the city and he's not your man, then you've just made him your man. Like, I'm sorry, because every girl in the bar is going to be like, oh, that's her man. Like, that's going to be an automatic. And no guy would let you do it unless he liked you. Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, you take a guy's sweater, he doesn't like you. He's going to be like, bitch, take that off. Like, I don't know. Like, there's like weird.
I can't think of a city equivalent to the cowboy hat rule. Yeah. That's the thing.
A sweater. Again, you ever seen those things where like girls like snatch like their boyfriend's hoodie? Yeah. That's the concept right there. Same thing. Don't take something a man is wearing that's not your man.
Yeah,
and if he doesn't care, he's going to be like, that's right, wear my sweater. Look at how good my sweater looks on you. I don't know. It's like a Letterman's jacket. There you go, city boys. A Letterman's jacket.
I think that's an old school reference too.
I was thinking like the class ring. She's walking around with the class ring. I'm aging myself over here.
Okay,
I'm like
I had
50.
my own class ring. I think I'm one of the only people that actually bought their
I bought a class ring, okay? I did. I was telling my son.
I wore it all the time too. And
I did too. I was all proud of myself. I was like, did you see my class ring? Yeah. I think I even wore it like super on this finger, like super proud.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, look at my class ring.
Yeah. That's exactly what I wore it on my ring finger too.
Like something like, I don't know. I was proud. I still have it. I was telling my son about it.
I'm pretty sure I have mine too.
I have a class ring. And he was like, you wore that? And I was like, what? I didn't buy a Letterman's jacket, so I thought class ring.
I should have bought a Letterman's jacket. I lettered in varsity for 4 years.
I lettered too, but I don't know. Letterman's jacket.
Volleyball.
Well, I just bought my son one. It was like $600. So like, I can't equivalent that to back in the day. Would have been.
It would have been cool to have one though, because I'm like, I lettered all 4 years in volleyball, and I was like, I should have just gotten the Letterman's jacket.
So it's really funny because all my kids got Letterman's jackets, and they just fucking hang in their closet.
I know.
And even the guy, when I was buying it, he was like, "Is your son gonna wear this?" And I was like, "I hope so." And he was like,
"It's the same with my white coat from pharmacy school." It sits in the back of my closet, and I only took it out to film that Love Hypothesis video, which blew up, by the way.
I know. I was going to tell you. You did a great job. Everybody loved it.
We had like 6,000 views on that, which is blowing up for this podcast, okay? Like, it's not that many views, and we only had like 40 likes on Instagram.
We've been doing pretty good, all right?
That one I was actually pretty proud of. But I took it out, and I used to wear like full face of makeup all the time. And then like when I got into pharmacy school, I wore like powdered foundation. I didn't wear like actual foundation. But I haven't done a full beat other than to film these podcasts or like to go to a wedding in years at this point. Like since I've had a kid. So like probably three years at this point.
Your kid's too young to give a shit. Like right now you roll out of bed just hoping to God.
I just don't have time. I'm so happy if I can put my eyebrows on and I can put my mascara on. I feel like I'm a complete person if I'm able to do that and make my hair not look like an absolute shit show. But so I haven't had a full beat of makeup, and I pull that out. I haven't washed it in forever, I think, because I don't wear mine. But the collar, and you can see in the Love Hypothesis, first of all, I was trying to cover up my school's logo. And then the second thing is it's really, really bent back because the back collar had a bunch of like old
I didn't notice any of it.
Oh, because I hid it really well, and I did it in like poor lighting, so you couldn't see it. But yeah, that was the behind the scenes of that video, I guess. But yeah,
well, that video was super cute.
I don't even remember. Oh, I was talking about Letterman's jackets. So we were talking about that. But yeah, it sits in my closet. There's a lot of doctors and pharmacists and other practitioners who don't wear their white coats. Winter does wear her white coat, but it is kind of a rite of passage to get your white coat in school.
I think she does in the story because I think that the author doesn't realize that they don't wear them.
There are tons of them that do. Like when I used to work on the floors, lots of doctors do wear their white coats, but a lot of them just wear scrubs. Like at
they
night,
wear scrubs and they look like nurses, and then I'll be like, hey, da da da, and then they're like, I'm a doctor, and I'm like, well, I don't give a shit. You're a human being. Here, go do this. I don't handle doctors well, and I don't think they like me. There's only like 3 that actually are like, Star's not a horrible fucking person, but yeah, like I don't give a shit what your last name is with what angle on the end of it. Like, I'm sorry, like we all working together, man.
We're all on a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to Rhett and Summer, who are outside of their hotel room.
Yeah.
And that is when Summer takes his hat. And he's like, there's no going back now. So they end up in Rhett's room. And
there's no going back now.
He starts going down on her. And Willow was texting her like, you need that beard burn, girl.
Oh, that's right. And like, she's never had anybody go down on her.
Yes, because Rob was a piece of shit. Never went down on her.
It's just, there's something weird about a guy that doesn't fucking want to know what that tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
Or that doesn't like it. I've met guys that are like, I don't like the taste. And I'm like, obviously she needed to clean it, because what taste are you getting that didn't? I'm sorry.
I can understand not enjoying going down on someone, but then it's like a more mutual thing. Like, okay, you're not going to go down on me, I'm not going to go down on you. Like, that would be like an understanding you have in your relationship, that's the thing. But not being a piece of shit, expecting blowjobs, and just being like, okay, I'm not going down on you, though, because that's not what I do.
Okay, so, like, strong believer, like, okay, I don't mind, like, going down, but, like, I don't want to be down there for, like, 5 hours, right?
No.
Like nobody wants to give like full completion.
We can do a little foreplay.
Nobody wants to, that's what I was going to say. Nobody wants to give a full completion. Like, but I'm down for like, you want to give a few like swipies, I'll give a few swipies.
Yeah.
And then we're moving forward.
Exactly.
Like, but that's okay. But like nothing at all. And then being like, get down there is like a weird, I don't know.
Yeah.
He did have some weird, Rob was weird.
Rob was awful.
He just, I don't know. Like he really just, I don't know. He just thought that like everybody, he deserved everything he got.
Yeah, he was the center of everyone's world. And so Rhett starts going down on her. And she's like, you don't have to do that. And he's like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I'm weird about it too. Like,
she's
I'm
like, nobody would like that. Like, she's like, I don't think you'll like it. And he's like, I'm going to like it. Don't worry. But so that is though where these narrators start being a problem for me, are these smut scenes in particular. Because, again, they were pretty hot when you read them. But then when the female narrator says, Rhett was the king of eating pussy. And I was like, why did you say it like that? Like, I don't like the way you said that. First of all, Rhett is the king of eating pussy is a cringy line to begin with. You read it, though, and it's not too bad because you don't have a random woman's voice in your head saying it. But when you have the way she says it and the inflection she has, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. I just don't like the word pussy, but there's no better word. Like,
I guess cunt is the only other one that I've seen.
Yeah, they're not. I also hate when they're like, and he licked my lips, and I'm just like, lips. Like I don't know, like it's like, are the folds? Folds is also a bad word. There's not really a lot of like great description words.
No, I think you and I are gonna have that conversation over and over again as we talk about smut.
I know. I think when it happened in the book, though, I didn't really like I glazed over it. I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
moving forward.
I just like
that one really caught you. Like you were like, oh God, I'm gonna fucking complain about this. I swear. Every time you say it, I'm like, I guess I do remember that scene. Like, I guess like my problem with the whole scene was like, cool, he went down on you. Like I guess I'm just getting tired of fucking smut scenes. I'm like, all right, and it's cool. It's over. Thanks God. Let's get back to the story now. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of smut in these books.
There's a couple times where I'm like, can I fast forward? But then you try to like hit like 10 seconds ahead, and then they're talking, and you're like, wait, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, so and a lot of times they talk through the smut.
Oh my God, what is that? Who does? I mean. I'm gonna shut the fuck up right now. I was about to be like, who does that? Then I'm thinking like all the boyfriends in my head right now that are like, Star, we saw your video, you liar. How many times were you like, oh my God, I just remembered that you need to feed the dog.
But that's what you said, is that you need them to not talk to you.
Yeah, no. Because you know what the problem that I have is that like, it's like being in the shower, that quiet moment where I'm finally not doing something and I'm like not busy, like being a mom or being a worker or something. And then all of a sudden we're doing something. And then I'm like, every thought that I have forgotten that I needed to tell you all wants to be like diary of the mouth.
See, I can't relate to that quiet moment because I'm constantly like, if I get a second away, I'm like audiobook, podcast, music, audiobook.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you don't do that during sex.
No. But I
so in sex, I'm like, we're going, And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot to tell you. Were you banging me from the back? I'm so sorry. So your mom called the other day. Like, you talk about fucking buzzkill. But my brain will be like, holy shit, we're not being a person right now. We're like in a 10-minute like spiral of it's just you thinking your thoughts. Like, and then all of a sudden that's when you're like, and then she said that your dad did.
Your head has got to be just wild whenever you have a quiet moment.
Quiet moments in my fucking brain. Like, I was in the shower. And I'm sure my son fucking loves it because, like, I try not to play anything when I'm in the shower because I know people put, like, the radio on. Mm-hmm. And I know what happened this morning. But, like, something I said, like, a week ago, like, started replaying. And I'm like, shut the fuck up! And, like, there's nobody else there. And your son's in the other room. He can hear behind the door. Because I don't try to yell.
He's like, my mom is crazy.
There's, like, something, like, I need to, like, I don't know. It's, like, it's something I learned in therapy was, like, try to redirect. But sometimes I can't redirect. It'll just keep fucking playing. And it'll be like, you remember that stupid thing you said? You remember that stupid thing you said? Mm-hmm. Hey, did you say that? That was stupid. So sometimes I just yell, shut the fuck up. But I'm sure you're in the shower. You're like scrubbing your body down. Shut the fuck up. And your kid's like, I didn't do anything. I wasn't even fucking talking. I'm in the other room. Why is she yelling at me? I think he's figured it out that I'm talking to myself.
Like, this is your coping mechanism.
Yeah. But like, I'm sure he's like scared out of his fucking mind. He was like, oh my God. I've gotten a little better at trying to drive home without anything on. Like, cause it's like an hour just to be like,
that's probably good. You need like a
brain.
Moment.
But God, I'll tell you. Sometimes I'm like, fall asleep. Like, fuck it. Like, why are we awake? Just drive into the guardrail. Like,
so speaking of talking during sex, though, one of the things that happens while they're banging, and I think it's when Summer's writing him, is, and this is not this first encounter, I think, but like later, is that Rob calls, and he's like, answer the phone. And she's like, what? And then she answers, and that's, oh no, Rhett starts going down on her again, I think.
Yes.
And I think she's like, you would never eat pussy or whatever is how she like hung up the phone or something like that. And Rob's just like, what are you doing? What's going on? And he's just like, shh, be quiet. Like, just do this. And I think we see that in, oh no, we don't see it in Powerless. We see... He says, I fucked the ring right off her finger, but that's in person, I think.
He says that in person.
Yeah. But so, yeah, that was a phone conversation they had. Because Rob is still watching, like, he'll see televised events, and he's waiting to find her and point out that she's doing something bad, which she's not. But that was part of their relationship, was him being shameful, or making her feel shameful about whatever, and then she would drag back to him over and over again. And he would treat her like trash, and then throw her away, and then use her again and throw her away.
Yeah, because then you're like in that situation where, like, you know, it's like you're too young to know that there's people out there that'll treat you well. And so then you get stuck in that rut of like repetitively finding the same. Yeah, he had a weird way of like abusing her, though. Yeah. Like you don't think it's abusive until you're like, wow, that was kind of abusive. Like.
And so their relationship keeps progressing. There's a lot more sex scenes. And then at one point, Summer comes back from a workout, and he shows her the assless chaps that she got. The, like, pretty black chaps that she had seen. They were, like, black chaps with, like, silver on them. And she had picked them up and been like, these are beautiful. And they were, like, custom made and stuff. And this was, like, the first event, too, when they're going through the little marketplace. And she, like, put them down because she's like, when am I ever going to wear chaps? Like, that's not a thing. And so then he gifts her the chaps, and he's like, go put the chaps on.
Yeah, but you don't wear them the way that, like, they're wearing them. Like, that's what kills me. And, you know, one of the things we haven't talked about that I fucking miss and love, and my favorite character is we haven't talked about Harvey.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Harvey.
But he's, like, my favorite character, especially when he knows that they're sleeping together. He's just, like...
He was just waiting for it to happen.
He was waiting. He was, like, just get on that side.
Harvey is just, like... He's so funny because he says the most inappropriate things.
I'm trying to remember if it's this book or the other book. I think it's not this book. Where he starts talking about doing a blowjob on the lawn.
Yeah,
but I realized it's not this book. It's a different book. But my brain was like, oh my God,
Harvey
the shit that comes out of his mouth.
And he's just so...
I picture my kids being like, you're Harvey. Like,
and Harvey's amazing. Like, not only did he raise his 4 kids after his wife, the love of his life, died when the kids were super young. Yeah. He raised all 4 of them and Jasper, and they all turned out pretty awesome. Like, Rhett can be kind of a butthead, and Bo has his own issues. All of them have their own issues. But, like, in the end, they're all really good guys to their core. And
yeah, Rhett was just reckless. Like, he was just, like, always, like...
I always want to call this book Reckless because it feels more like a description of Rhett than it does of Theo. But Theo and Winter's relationship started off reckless, which was why that book's called that.
No, and I totally understood why it was called that. But yeah, every time I do the same thing. I think I even mentioned it one time where I was like, yeah. And then you were staring at me. Because the problem that I have with it is that he is like a little asshole. Like, he was the kid that was like climbing on the fence. Like, he was the kid that you were like, that's an electric fence, don't pee on it. Let me try. You know, it was like that. He was the kid that you couldn't beat enough. You were just like, I can't. How do I fucking get through to your head?
He was the youngest boy. So he was kind of the youngest child, but still a middle child. So he kind of had like the youngest child syndrome where he just kind of had that wildness in him.
Yeah.
But he still wasn't quite the youngest.
There's just some kids, though, like that are just fucking, it doesn't matter if they're the baby or if they're the oldest. They've got like a wild, like, just that wild hair that's just like, I'm going to do everything and break everything.
I also just love like all of his interactions with Cade, where Cade's just like, are you just an idiot? Cade's just like, you're just stupid and I have like adult responsibilities and you just go ride a bull and I hate you for doing that. Like, all of his family is not on board with him being a bull rider anymore.
It is not an easy, like, even my friend that I was dating his family did not like it. They were like, are you done yet? Like, you can only think your family member's going to die so many times before you're like, just you're trying to kill yourself. Like, that's what you're doing.
And that's basically Cade's perspective.
Yes.
He's like, I stay home, I raise a kid on my own, and I help dad out to make sure that this ranch runs.
Yeah.
Like, that is my entire goal in life, is to make Wishing Well Ranch work the way that mom wanted it to. And you're off trying to get yourself killed every weekend.
Yeah.
And so they're like, at what point is it enough? At what point is the adrenaline going to run out and you're just ready to have a normal life? And Rhett's like, I can't answer that.
No.
And so Summer Summer sees that and she's like, well, I'm going to be on Rhett's side and support him on this. And then she does start having that, oh my God, he could die today. Like, when she witnesses his hand get stuck, she's like, oh my God, this is like a serious thing that I would not have Rhett anymore in my life. And so she kind of starts asking him, not necessarily in the same way, but just like, when is this? What's your plan? And he's like, I don't know, 1 or 2 more of these.
But 1 or 2 more turns into 1 or 2 more. Like, it's like the adrenaline never stops. And who are you? That's the other question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
If this goes away, then who are you? Because a lot of people don't have like a plan after, like they made their goal was hit. Where'd they go now?
I can fully relate to that. Because like, I had a lot of my life, I had like, for 10 years, I was a volleyball player, and that was the thing that I did, and it was all I did. I was good at it. And then I was recruited to a couple different colleges, but I ended up wanting to go to a different university, and I was like, I'm going to pick school over volleyball. So I ended up doing that. I had to spend the first year being like, what do I do when I don't have practices? I don't have lifting. I don't have games. Like, I'm just by myself in a new city, and I don't have the one thing that I was good at, like, my whole life. And then the same thing kind of happened after pharmacy school. Was like, okay, now I'm a pharmacist. What do I do now? Like, I'm already here. My one identity was that I was in school forever. Now I'm working. Okay. And then I had my family, and then I was like, okay, I have my kid now. Who am I? Like, what do I enjoy doing in my life? And so I can totally understand Rhett being like, how do I move on from this one thing that I have spent my entire life dedicated to? And where do I even start, like, as a person? So I get that.
No, I totally get that. But at that point, he needed to make the choice. You know, Summer, Wishing Well.
Yeah.
Wishing Well
Ranch, because they have the Wishing Well.
No. I wasn't sure if I said it right. I was like, did I get it right?
It's like, a bit of a tongue twister.
But yeah, I mean, that's a hard one. And then, you know, every season is different too, right? Like, what is he? He was 34, right?
Yeah.
You know, in your 20s, you make this decision. In your 30s, you make that decision. Where are you going to be in your 40s? Like, are you going to have kids? Or are you going to start settling down? Yeah, it's a hard one to start. Like, every season is different.
Yeah. And so he has kind of all that family dynamic at home. He's getting a lot of pressure from that. And then he and Summer start actually, like, officially dating. And that is when she ends up going to dinner. He convinces her to go out to, like, a nice dinner, and Jasper goes with them. And they're all having, like, a nice night out. And that is when she gets the call from Winter.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, or was it from Winter or was it from her stepmom?
It was from Winter.
Okay. And she gets the call.
Her stepmom was pissed that she was there.
Yeah, that's right. But Winter, she also gets mad at Winter because she didn't call soon enough. But Winter calls her, says, Dad had a heart attack. Get over here. And so then she
did it.
She gets
I
there.
would have called immediately. Yeah, she doesn't call immediately.
Winter was like, I made sure he was fine. And she's like, but what if he died and you didn't call me? Like, he's my dad too, I think is like verbatim what she said. So Rhett's there. And then Rob shows up. And Rhett does not know that Rob and Summer are married. And so
Rob and Winter.
Yeah, Rob and Winter. Yeah, thank you. Rob and Winter are married.
I was like, Summer's not married. Like, I had to totally. No, but nobody knows. We don't know this in the story.
Yeah, we don't know at this point that they were married.
Throwing down, we have no clue. This is like my favorite part of the story.
Yeah, and they get into a verbal altercation initially, and then Rhett ends up punching him because he's like, how dare you tell, because I think he was telling Summer to calm down and she was freaking out too much and stuff, and was kind of defending Winter in it as well. And Rhett punches him, and then he revealed all of that, was that whole relationship.
Yes.
Winter didn't know about.
Not a clue.
And Winter's pissed now. She's like, I didn't know any of this was going on, and I'm pregnant.
Yes, but she just found out she was pregnant, like a couple hours.
They'd been going through IVF treatment, and she just finally found out she's pregnant.
It was so, like, I couldn't imagine. Winter's fucking story, man.
Winter's story is rough, and that's when she finds out about Rob and Summer, and Summer's like, you need to leave. You're not making anything better.
Yeah, to
And
Rhett.
this is our third act breakup, which happens in every Elsie Silver book. But this is our third act breakup. She ends up going home after her dad gets better, and her dad's like, why do you like... Oh, I think she's in the hospital with her dad still, and they were watching Rhett ride. And he's like, why do you think it's a bad thing to be with him? Like, he has no qualms about it in the end. He's like, it's okay. Like, if you're in love with him, that's fine. He's like, you're not just fucking a client. Like, this is something else. And I think she ends up at home for a bit, and her dad ends up firing her. He's like, you don't want to do this. PR is not your thing.
He ends up firing her because he's trying to, like, also push her to, like, open up your eyes. Like, girl, everybody can see it, girl. You're not doing a good job of hiding it. Like, because she really thinks she's like, I'm hiding it. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like, like that she was like not in loving her job. It was like,
no, he's like, this is not something that's making you happy. He's like,
yeah,
because she kind of felt like she owed him for like taking care of her while she was a kid and stuff. And he's like, you don't owe me anything.
No, that's
this is not what you wanted. Yeah, exactly. This is not what you want to do with your life. And then Willa's like, I think she goes out to have like a drunk brunch with Willa. And Willa's like, so we're going to Vegas or what?
Oh,
and then so then she and Willa fly out to Vegas. And that is when he's getting on the bull.
And he hasn't seen her in a while, right? Because he's been on a couple different circuits. He hasn't seen her. And then that's the whistle, right?
Yeah, she whistles. And he looks up while he's in the pen getting on the bull. And he just says like, fuck it, I'm done. This is not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
And so he hops off the bull. And everyone's like, where are you going? And he's like doing something that I should have done. And they like go and they tell each other.
This is where the hat comes back into play again.
Yeah,
he throws the hat on top of her and kisses her on like live television.
Yep. And that is when they, fully. And then I think the epilogue of that book, or no, we get a Harvey chapter for these, but I think there's also an epilogue where they get engaged. I can't remember.
I think it is an epilogue because they do get engaged. And then, I'm trying to remember how that exactly. I know how the engagement goes down, but I'm trying to remember how like. See, the stories are starting to blend for me right now because I'm like,
I can't remember how they got engaged.
Something they were like having sex or something, weren't they?
I don't. It sounds like them. I don't remember how they got engaged.
I swear they were having sex, and then he was like called her by like his last name or something, and then. She like said something. This is how but I'm trying to remember if this is the right book is my problem. I'm like, holy shit, is this the right one? But this has to be the right one because that's 100% their
might
story.
Be what it is. I can't remember. I'm like trying to.
I don't remember him actually putting a ring on it.
It seems like a very Summer and Rhett way to do something, so that I wouldn't put it past if it was. And then we do get to see their wedding. I wasn't a full-on page marriage. But I still got to have a reception in Reckless. We get to Theo and Winter attend Rhett and Summer's wedding. And
okay. I was like, for some reason I was on the wrong. Okay. Yes.
So thank you, Elsie Silver, for finally giving me a wedding.
Finally giving her a wedding. Yeah. The on-page wedding. Well, on-page-ish wedding.
On-page-ish wedding. It was better than like when you read some of these fantasy books and they're like, and they were husband and wife. And you're like, wait, what? And they're like, they had a secret ceremony last night. And you're like, why can't I have seen the secret ceremony?
Right. But she had to have them meet somehow. Like two strangers had to meet somehow.
For Theo and Winter?
Yeah.
No, they had already been together at that point. They end up going home together later. They had already been.
That's right. But they had that whole, okay, that's right. But that's not what I meant. I meant like they had to meet each other like, because that was their breakup was before, right? That was their reconnecting.
That was their reconnection. Yeah. But yeah, I got my on-page wedding in Reckless. Well, I thank you, Elsie Silver, for that.
She could have, yeah. I was just thinking like there's certain ways that the books are read that I was like, that one I still think Reckless could have been moved into a different section.
It probably could have.
Because every time I read it, I was like, well, that could have been moved into between this book and that book. Like
Reckless is hard because it covers so much time span, because we see kind of the beginning of Reckless happens in Powerless. Is when
that's what I'm saying though. Like there's
Sloane and Jasper,
you feel like there's different
happen.
sections where you can move the books. I mean, I honestly could read them all in different orders and still would have been like.
I think that's kind of the point though, is that they can be read in whatever order. You can read the series in whatever order, and it doesn't make a difference. It'll be more impactful probably if you start at the Gold Rush Ranch, go to Chestnut Springs, then go to Rose Hill, then read the next thing, which will be Emerald Lake. But it didn't detract for me to do these out of order.
It's just there was different parts where I was like, well, it could have been like, I don't know.
And with it being romance, it's not a spoiler when you're like, oh, this is, Bailey and Bo's book. This is blah, blah, blah's book. Like, it's not a surprise because that's what it is. It's a romance. They end up at the end. So, like, it's not like a spoiler alert for it or anything like that. But, yeah, that's why I feel like you could read it out of order and be fine. And you could go back and be like, oh, I want to know how blah, blah, blah got together. So, but yeah. So, would you ride the cowboy? I guess that's the question for this
story.
Book.
No,
what did you rate the?
I would not. This story I would rate a 4. Okay, overall story I would have rated a 5 because I really did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely a 4 for her series, of which I've read already.
I'm reading. I'm having to look through my Goodreads because I'm trying to remember what I rated this to begin with. I think
Katie's a terrible rater. She probably rated it like a 3.
I'm a really easy rater. So I rated this a 5.
Okay.
I think I have only rated one Elsie Silver as a 4.
Yeah,
so
I have to say though, out of her books, this is not like top notch for me. I didn't love this one as much as, but I also didn't love Rhett. Rhett actually bothered me.
Rhett was not my kind of guy. So I think that's part of it. But I would say reading it the first time as a read through was a 5-star. When I listened to it, it knocked it down to a 4 for me. Just because I liked it, but again, the lines that I thought were good or I was able to kind of glaze over when it was reading in my own head, in my own like voice, were not that bad. And then when I read them in this or heard it as an audiobook, I was like, oh, I don't like that. This is giving me a little bit of a cringe. I actually had to stop listening to this book a couple of times because I was like, this is not for me. But I still do love this book. So take with it how you will. So that was our coverage on Flawless. We will definitely be returning to Chestnut Springs. This is my favorite Elsie Silver series. You haven't read the other ones yet. I really liked Rose Hill. Rose Hill is a take on single dads, so each one is a different single dad. And then the Gold Rush Ranch is kind of all about like horse racing, all that kind of stuff. So we see a different side of kind of a small town.
Yeah.
But so we will get through Elsie Silver because there's a lot of them. So it's going to take us some time, but we will eventually get there. And I know Heartless, which is the next book in the Chestnut Springs series, which is Cade and Willa's book, are some people's very, very favorite of the series. So if you want to hear us talk about a specific Elsie Silver, go ahead and leave us a comment on our Spotify, our YouTube, social media, wherever. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will pull it up a slide so you can see where you can follow us on social media, and we will see you next time.